Hey y'all, welcome to Kamira's Kitchen. Today I am here to share with you a recipe that will just tug on your heartstrings and remind you of your mama's good old cooking. Baby, this is that type of food that you have on a Sunday table or an Easter table and everyone just loves it. In this video, I am going to take a classic recipe and then also put a little twist on it that I'm sure a lot of you guys aren't going to expect. So y'all, let's get into it. So first I'm going to start with 3 to 3.5 pounds of rustic potatoes. I'm going to wash them really good and then I am going to peel them. You want to use a sharp knife to cut your potatoes into slices. When you get to the end of that potato, honey, do not try to be a hero. All right, you may whack off the tips of them fingertips. Just turn that end down and then slice it across, okay? Just like this. We are looking for slices that are about 1/4 of an inch or a little bit less in thickness. You could use a mandolin, but honestly, I don't like mandolins. I feel like they're a little bit dangerous. And not only that, I don't slice like this very often, and my chef knife can do the work. Okay, that's what it's made for. In the comments, tell me one of your favorite recipes that your mother makes or just a recipe that reminds you of home. Go ahead and share it, and I may be able to make it on the channel. Once I have my potatoes sliced, I am going to put them in a bowl of cold water so that they don't go brown while I am prepping the other ingredients. And I also like to give them a little scrub-a-dub-dub just to get off any excess starch. One of the stars of this dish is some leeks. Now I know these leeks look a little beat up. Okay, I'm going to be honest with y'all. These leeks been sitting at the back of that fridge for probably at least a good 2 weeks. Okay, but y'all know this ain't no professional kitchen. Baby, this is home cooking. So I'm sure enough going to use these leeks today. All right, we just going to chop off the ends that looking a little, so-so. We're going to peel off them layers that's looking rough. And we going to get on to it. Once you have finished prepping your leek, you're then going to cut it in half the long way and then put it into some half moon slices. Today I am using 2 leeks. Ideally, you should use 3 or 4 leeks, but honey, leeks is so expensive right now. These jokers is $4 for 2. Okay, so I just couldn't spend $8 on no onions. But hey, if you got it like that, then go ahead and do it. When they grow leeks, they tend to pile a lot of dirt on the stem of the leek to make that long, white, beautiful stem. However, that technique also tends to trap a lot of dirt in between the layers. So I like to add water to a bowl of the already sliced leek and then really agitate it so that any dirt will fall to the bottom. Then I'm going to lift the leek slices out of the water. I'm not just going to pour the water out because any dirt that's left is going to fall to the bottom. I have a 12-inch enamel cast iron skillet, and into this I'm going to be adding some butter, baby. A good old fat tablespoon with a little bit of oil. Now, honey, I'm not promising you fat-free, low-carb, nothing with this recipe. I told you this was going to be like mama's. I ain't tell you this was going to be, Weight Watchers, okay? I'm also going to add in like half of an onion that I sliced up finely because that was sitting in my fridge and I wasn't going to let it go to waste. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and then I'm going to saute this on a medium to a medium low heat for about a good 7 to 10 minutes. You really want those leeks to cook down, get a little bit brown. That is going to bring out the sweetness and the richness of the leeks. Then I'm going to put in 5 cloves of garlic that I've minced and some fresh herbs. I'm using rosemary and thyme today, and I'm going to be generous because I love these herbs paired with potatoes. And there's a lot of potatoes here. Potatoes tend to be bland, so hey, go at it. I'm also going to use some Vegeta. This is like a vegetable bouillon. It has a lot of salt in it. So in this recipe, I will be using this like salt. If you don't have Vegeta, then you can use salt instead. I'm also going to use some white pepper and about a tablespoon of flour. I'm going to mix this until the flour becomes lightly browned. While I am not going to be making a sauce with the leeks, you will see the genius of this later on in this recipe. When these leeks have cooked and that flour is toasted, I'm going to take them out and just try to scrape most of the scraps out of the pan. But certainly do not wash it because there is flavor in this pan. I'm adding a little bit more butter, and then I'm going to turn the heat on the eye down to the lowest heat setting. I'm going to begin making some layers in my skillet. First, I'm going to add a layer of potatoes, and then I am going to season them because remember, I've added no flavor to these potatoes. I'm using white pepper, Vegeta, and this all-purpose seasoning. This all-purpose seasoning is a mixture of some pepper, salt, a little bit of paprika, some herbs and spices. So if you don't have this specific brand, just use whatever brand is similar to that. I'm then going to add on a little bit of cheddar cheese as well as a little bit of the leek mixture. And I'm going to spread that leek mixture around because I'm telling you that is going to take this dish over the top. You're going to continue to layer until you have all your potatoes and your cheese in. I am using in total about 8 ounces of cheddar cheese and 4 ounces of parmegano reggiano cheese. However, some Swiss, some Gouda, or some Gruyere cheese would be amazing in this dish. When you get towards the top layer, I don't like to add cheese to the top just yet. I'll just add some seasonings, and then I am going to pour in 1 cup of heavy cream, 1 cup of evaporated milk, and about half of a cup of water. Instead of parboiling the potatoes, I am going to cover these potatoes, cook them on about a 2 on an electric stove for about 10 minutes, and then that will soften them up enough before they go into my preheated oven at 375 degrees. I really like this method because I don't have to boil them first in a separate pot. As they simmer, they start to create a sauce with the flour that was in that leek mixture. I'm putting this in the oven covered at 375 degrees for 40 minutes. Then I'm going to uncover the potatoes and I'm going to sprinkle on whatever cheese I left to the side. So I just left about 2 ounces of cheese or so just to sprinkle on the top. And I'll also be adding on a few herbs like rosemary because they look really pretty when they brown just a bit. I'm going to slide this back in for 10 more minutes until that cheese is melted and there is a nice little golden brown color. Oh my goodness, this is so bubbly and delicious, but don't let the greedy spirit get you because you definitely need to wait about 15 minutes before cutting into this so that that sauce that's between the potatoes will set and so you don't burn the top of your mouth. I know a lot of y'all got battle wounds just from being greedy and eating food that was too hot. Now, y'all, if you don't take a look at this cheesy, buttery, herby potatoes, honey, these are so good. And the moment you bite into that little leek mixture, you will know that this was all worth it. Let me know if you are going to try this recipe. Goodbye and God bless.